Hi, Dan Casey here. In this video, we're going to answer the question I get the most from my clients is, do I have enough money to retire? Let's get started. All right, let's get started. Draw a big circle on your paper. Okay? This is your portfolio size, whatever money you're working with in retirement, what you think you might have or what you currently have now. Inside, we want to draw a little circle. This is how much money you'll need in retirement. So figure maybe in retirement you're going to have your house paid for. Maybe you'll go down from 2 cars to only 1 car. Maybe you want to set aside a fund for traveling. Whatever it is you think you're going to need in retirement, that's what you need to put in here, okay? But I need you to subtract out Social Security and any pensions that you may get, okay? And that's the money that you're going to need every year in retirement. But keep in mind, Social Security might change, okay? So you might need to revisit the circle. If one spouse passes away, your Social Security is going to change, okay? And pension, depending on what option you selected, again, when a spouse passes away, this may change, okay? But for right now, just take a conservative approach to what you think it's going to be. Figure out what you need to live on in retirement every year, okay? And remember, over here is your portfolio size. Okay, so we want to draw some lines on here. So get some paper. Let's start. Okay, in each one of these slots right here, write in the word annuity. Now, you can go through this whole circle without buying one annuity, okay? So this isn't a video selling annuities. But we've got to talk about them because they do offer options that other investments don't offer. And in retirement, that can be big. Tax-deferred growth, guarantees of income, guarantees of the growth inside. A lot of guarantees, but there's trade-offs, right? You don't have full access to your money. Okay, so let's start off with my circle of income. I call the circle of, do I have enough money to retire? Or cotihirum. Cotihirum. Yeah, okay. All right, so let's start out with the money that you need. If you want the guarantees that annuities offer, and that money in retirement, if you put into an annuity, and it's got the guaranteed income that you need, and you want to put all your money in annuity, go for it. But it's not required, okay? If that's what you want, plug that in here, and you're golden, okay? And maybe you have, if you put half your portfolio in there, it's enough income for you. I don't know. And then you have rest that's completely liquid, okay? If you don't, so this is where we're going to start, okay? If you don't want to do that, that's fine. Move on. We're going to move on to corporate bonds. For the most part, pretty safe. 2008 showed that there was a lot of fluctuation. Everything went down, right, in 2008. But in general, if you don't feel that there's going to be another 2008, corporate bonds is the best place to put your money where you're going to get a decent return. So if you don't want to do the annuity, let's go into corporate bonds and see what kind of a rate we're going to get. Now, how you do that is go to finance.yahoo.com. We'll show the link below. And type in the ticker LQD. Now, if you subscribe to my channel here on YouTube, there'll be another video on here that will show you exactly how to get to LQD and find out the dividends that it's paying. Now, LQD is a basket of corporate bonds, so you're super diversified. But I'm not necessarily recommending you purchase LQD, but this is a good way to find out the interest rates that corporate bonds are paying, whatever environment we tend to be in right now as you're watching this video. If you go into this, find out what dividends it's paying. That's generally what you're going to do. You find out with your retirement savings, if you put it into a fund like this, by looking at the dividends that it's kicking off, can you live off that money? If so, if you put that in there and with Social Security and pensions, that's what you need, then you can stop here, okay? Stop at my code to HERM and exit. You're good. So if you put a portion or all of your money into corporate bonds and it's kicking off enough interest to live off of with your Social Security and pensions, okay, you're good. Now, the thing to keep in mind with bonds is the inverse relationship with interest rates. If we're in an environment where interest rates are going up, the market value here of your bond portfolio will fluctuate, all right? It will go down a little bit. The money that is kicking off won't necessarily change, okay? So you'll have to revisit the code of HERM if we're in an environment like that to make sure that that's what's going on, okay? So, and if that's the case, then we might want to go further around the circle and invest in something else to maybe curb that need, okay? Okay, so if it's not kicking off enough income, then we need to put something else in the portfolio to do so. All right, so we're going to pass through annuity. Let's revisit annuity again at this point. Maybe if it's kicking off half of what you need and you could put half into an annuity to guarantee it, then you're done. Okay? If you don't want to do an annuity, that's fine. Keep going. Okay, so the next one is going to be preferred shares. Okay, preferred shares kind of act similar to bonds and stocks, and that's what we're going to get to further down this circle, okay? So preferred shares, go to finance.yahoo.com and type in the ticker symbol PFF. Not recommending PFF, but this will give you the rates that preferred shares are paying. Now, because preferred shares are a little bit in between bonds and stocks, you're going to get a little bit of higher return from these than you are corporate bonds. In general, it's usually going to be about 2 percentage points more. So go into PFF, find out the dividends that it's paying, and find out how that boosts your income, okay? And plug that in. Is that enough? If we're still not to where the income that you need, then let's continue around the circle. Okay? Revisit annuity. Maybe with a little bit of bonds, a little bit of preferred shares in there, you're just short a little bit. Maybe you want to put a little bit of money into an annuity, have it ratchet up the income, and then that will fill in the gap that you need at that point. Okay? If not, that's fine. Let's continue around the circle. Okay, let's just stop right here. I know we're getting a little bit in depth here. Stick with me. I originally tried to make this really easy to understand, so easy a 6-year-old could understand. Let's talk to my 6-year-old and see. Did that video make sense to you?
No.
Not at all? Do you know how much you need in savings so you can retire? Okay, yes, you saw that right. My 6-year-old walked right off the set. I don't think he quite understood it. So, all right, so I missed my mark on that. But stick with me and ask your questions below the video, and I'll make sure I get to all of them as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. Okay, now we need to get into the stock market a little bit, because if you still don't have enough money, then we're going to need to grow it a little bit, okay? But we're going to try to do that safely. Okay, so what this is going to be is dividend stocks. Okay, now as you'll see, as we move around this circle, we're going from more income producing investments that don't really grow. You're not going to have big capital appreciation from these types of investments, okay? But as we get into these, you're going to see more growth, but less income, all right? And that's fine, because if we've gotten to this point and you don't have enough income, then we need to grow it a little bit, right? Okay, so the next best way to do that is dividend stocks. Now, dividend stocks are safer than other stocks that maybe aren't paying high dividends or any dividends at all for that matter. They're safer because companies that are paying dividends are not funneling all their money back into the company and trying to grow, and they're not aggressive. They tend to be more stable companies, big blue chip companies that pay dividends out. Okay, so here we're probably in the range of 3 to 5.5% range of dividends that this particular group of companies will pay, okay? Now here, you're gonna get some nice dividends, not as nice as over here, but you're also gonna get a little bit of growth, all right? So that's that fine line, okay? Now I'll have another video to show exactly how to find some good dividend stocks that are paying high, okay? So here, if this is kicking off enough income, and we plug it in here, and we're good, then we can stop there and exit my Codahirum. Okay, so we'll get a little growth. We'll get some dividends from here, and we're good. If we're still short, that's fine because we're in some growth areas of the market, and that might supplement the income going forward, okay? Okay, if we're still not good, let's keep going around the circle and revisit annuity. Maybe again, at this point, we're just short a little bit. We want some guaranteed income that can plop in here, and we're good. If you don't want to do an annuity still, that's fine. Go into here, and we want to go into common stocks. Okay, and we can do that through mutual funds, ETFs. I'll have another video on here showing you how to get some good common stocks. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, and when those videos come out, you'll be notified, okay? All right, so common stocks, growth common stocks, I should specify, are companies that really aren't concerned with paying a whole lot of dividends, okay? Usually in these particular companies, you're maybe getting 1.5% dividend, okay? So here, we're only putting money in here is if you're short, okay? And you don't have enough money to live on. We're gonna have to grow it, okay? Now, these companies are not paying a dividend, so they're putting all their money back into the company and they're trying to grow, okay? So this is where, you know, if you want, you could calculate at 1.5%. Those dividends and plug it in here and kind of play with all these numbers to figure out, do I have enough money to retire now? Do I have to go around the circle to the more growth areas to help supplement my income? All right, and then at that point you're done. You can exit the Codahirum and revisit this as often as you like, depending on what interest rates are doing, depending on what's going on in your life. There's a fine line in retirement between the balance of liquidity, meaning having access to your money easily, to non-liquidity, which is more in the lines of annuities, but they offer certain guarantees. So it's not a bad idea to have a mix of everything in here. Some guarantees with the annuity, liquidity with the rest of this. And if in retirement you can make it around the circle and not get into some of these common stocks, that's probably a good thing. That means you're pretty close and you don't need a whole lot of growth, okay? You can just live off of dividends. And there's a whole bunch of different investments here that can meet that need. This is just kind of keeping it really general to know if you're even in the ballpark of having enough money to retire. Okay, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can be updated when new videos come in. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave your comments, like it, do whatever you need to do. I'll talk to you soon. Probably the #1 question I get from all my clients. You're gonna find out right after here. Really? Right after what? Codahirum. Codahirum. Yeah, okay. And that's it. So make sure you visit other, I obviously can't speak. There's one more thing I wanted to talk about. And what was that? I don't remember. Okay, and to know, there's a fine line in retirement between the balance